You are a guardian angel and designer. What the f is you talking about, man? You are not from Harlem. Why do you keep thinking that you are from Harlem, bro? You are not from Harlem. I did not grow up with you, man. Do you remember how we met? Pause. Not met, how you got cool with us? Basically, you heard our freestyles. And you came up to me one day when I was chilling in front of the house. You said, yo, man, I heard the freestyles. Y'all killing shit. More freestyles come out. Y'all heard the new shit you did. Children of the Corn, 12-minute freestyle. Mase, Cameron, Cardan, DJ Clue. Google Bloodshed and Cameron, Children of the Corn, freestyle. Are you at any of these places? No, you was not there, man. You wasn't there.
Mase need to go on a diet. He need to get his life together. He need to go to the doctor and get a physical. He looked terrible, bad body, back ass. He look big around the neck, waist look crazy. I'm body shaming this. You heard? He need to go get his shit together, get on the treadmill, do some push-ups, do something. You heard? Especially for playing with me.
I was the CEO of Diplomats. I made Diplomats with him. I was with him for every bit of his journey. I held him down. I took that position of holding him down.
The tension was instant. Right from the first moment, Mase challenged the foundation of Jim Jones's Harlem credibility. According to online reactions, fans felt this wasn't just a casual jab, it was a history lesson. Mase reminded Jim of where he truly came from, alleging that he wasn't part of the core Harlem circle, but someone who had observed from the sidelines. He traced back their first encounter, explaining how Jim had approached them after hearing their freestyles, an acknowledgement of admiration rather than street legend status. The audience could already feel the layers of history bubbling to the surface. This wasn't just about today, it was about years of unspoken hierarchy. The question lingered. Could someone claim Harlem pride without having lived it? The opening lines set the tone for what many would call one of the most intricate public confrontations in recent hip-hop history.
You was a fan. You begged us. You are a fan, nigga. A fan. So you can sit around and act like you've been around all this Harlem and everything. You ever see somebody from Harlem try to act like they from Harlem so bad that you got to keep saying, I'm from Harlem? From Harlem know who's from Harlem. You don't have to keep saying you from Harlem. Yeah, listen, man. Listen. You were fanned out and you begged to come to your house after you heard all these mixtapes. That's how you got in. Mase actually taught you how to rap. Literally. He taught you how to rap.
Mase taught me how to rap.
You say it. We taught you how to rap. How you ran the whole organization. How you made Diplomats. You ain't made none of this stuff. You was a fan. That's how you got down originally. Period. I heard the new shit you did. Yo, you want to come through? Come through. Why? Why are we going to Jomo's house? So yeah, I would bring some bitches over there to fuck sometime. A little crack maybe.
Here, Mase didn't hold back. He allegedly highlighted how Jim missed the formative moments, the tours, the freestyles, and the early Harlem scene that shaped legends. Online discussions suggest this line hit hard because it painted a picture of someone outside the inner circle, trying to claim insider status. Fans speculated that pointing out Jim's absence at those key events was Mase's way of asserting authority and history ownership. By emphasizing Jim wasn't present during the critical Children of the Corn era, Mase framed the conversation as more than nostalgia. It was a statement about legacy, influence, and who truly belonged in Harlem's rap hierarchy. The subtle tension in the room suggested that the conversation was about to escalate beyond personal memory into a public reckoning.
Shit ain't no game. They can't play with me too much. I give them the floor to do that because that serves me no purpose. I got too much to worry about, too much to do. They know what I've done. And dance around it all they want and shit like that, joking, but they know if I get upset, it's gonna be a real problem.
Get out of here.
Every nigga that put hands on you or you get to altercation, you cool with him. You tried to chase French Montana out the game, that ain't work out. Y'all got cool. So cool that you go to his video shoot, pardon me, not his video shoot, his movie. You're sitting in the crowd watching the premiere and they dissing you in the movie. You in the movie getting dissed, and you gotta eat it, just sitting in the crowd. Nah, they dissing you in the movie that you went to go see, bro. Every nigga that do something to put pressure on you, you sit there and work it out. But when they got a little genuine heart for you and all that, cool, that's the pattern. If they don't put hands on you, then you can keep going on and on and on. But the niggas who do this, you cool with, and then the niggas who try to handle it sophisticatedly, you keep going on and on like niggas give a f about all that shit, bro. Niggas don't care about none of that shit, man. Niggas don't care a little bit, man. What I'll finish with is this, man. I'm never here to downplay your character. As much as you try to degrade my character for years and push me under the bus and say, I ain't start this and I ain't do that, and you started Pink and you made the Diplomats, which is just, do you ever hear me talk about when you ran on me when BMF pulled up? When you ran in the hotel, they chased you to the beach. They chased you to the beach, you was in the sand. You was getting wet from the water, from the ocean. I don't pump that. I don't pump all that shit because I ain't trying to degrade your character. You know why? Because the revolution was televised. That's why I'm here. That's why God worked like that. That's why me and Murder is here. The revolution was televised. Because you talking.
While this part may have seemed like light teasing, online reactions suggest there was a deeper layer. Mase's commentary allegedly wasn't just about physical appearance. It was symbolic. Fans speculated that by pointing out Jim's current state, he was contrasting past influence with present relevance. In essence, it served as a subtle critique of Jim's energy, ambition, and commitment compared to the OGs who had paved the way. The humor acted as a narrative device, softening a serious underlying message. While Mase joked, viewers online noted that the true weight was in the implied challenge. Are you still at the top, or have you let time erode your position? The tension hinted that things were about to shift from light-hearted jabs to pointed historical accountability.
Stop tricking out their freedom, bro. This is gonna be the last time I address this. Whatever you got to say after this, good luck, I wish you luck. I got other shit to do. This is not on my motherfucking plate. Believe what you want to believe, because I got other things to do. You feel me, Murder? I ain't want to snap one of them nose, but yeah, I'm good.
Here goes some popcorn, Stat.
Thanks. What was your reaction when Cameron brought up all these old stories and everything about you?
I laugh, man. I got this thing, man. People laugh at the lies, but the truth always hurt. You know, lies are more entertaining. You heard? You get to laugh, you get the joke, but the truth is a serious thing, no matter how you look at it. The truth is what the truth is.
At this moment, Mase shifted from teasing to asserting authority. Online reactions suggest viewers saw this as a mix of fact and legacy claiming. Allegedly, he reminded Jim and the audience of his pivotal role in Harlem's music scene, emphasizing that his influence wasn't just as a performer, but as a mentor and CEO shaping the careers of the next generation. Fans speculated that this part of the conversation underlined the power imbalance, showing who truly set the stage before Jim arrived. The narrative became clear. This wasn't personal beef, it was a public history lesson. The energy in the room shifted, signaling that what came next wouldn't just be remembered as jokes or commentary, but as a defining moment of cultural reckoning. The question lingered. Could Jim respond without undermining his own credibility?
Mase taught me how to rap, and Cam always made sure I was on every single album he had. He was like, boy, once you figure out how to rap the same way you act in these streets, it's gonna work for you. Just keep going. And that's all so I always gotta give credit to where credit is due and shit like that. There would be no Jim Jones.
This segment marked the ignition point of the clash. Allegedly, Jim's comments questioning Mase and Cam's relevance sparked a response that fans online describe as inevitable. Social media reactions suggest that many saw this as more than ego. It was about legacy, respect, and the unwritten rules of Harlem's rap hierarchy. For those who know the history, Mase and Cam were never the type to let subtle shots slide, especially from someone who allegedly benefited from their guidance. The tension here isn't just about numbers or fame, it's about narrative control. Fans speculated that Mase and Cam saw Jim attempting to rewrite Harlem's story to elevate his own role. This became the catalyst for the live moment on It Is What It Is, where respect, history, and influence collided in real time.
You know, the internet gets kind of crazy with the lies. The lies are going crazy on the internet.
I mean, well, the lies start from a narrative, and the narrative starts from a person, and you just got to look at it like that. But I've never been one in my life to care about clearing up no rumors. Like, that just take time out my day from making money. I know who I am. I'm very comfortable in my skin. I stand 10 toes down on everything I believe in. I don't change my pivot, and everybody knows that. I mean, as you can see, I would not be here if I did anything else but be me.
I was at Jim album release party, and everybody was over there with Jim, and Cam is standing over here with like 3 or 4 people just looking on and couldn't believe that Jim is the guy. There's no Dipset without Jim. Jim is the gangbanger of the crew. Cam is not a blood. I don't even know if Joel's was. I doubt Freaky was, right? But the set, it comes from the gang, right? All the gang all ran under Jim.
Right.
All of the muscle was Jim. That wasn't Cam. You know what I'm saying?
Cam was like the JV.
Cam was the artist. Jim and Cam were partners, so to speak, but Jim took the role of being the underboss, the muscle, to make sure that Cam could function and move around and not have a bad reputation or be getting robbed and all this other stuff. So Jim put he stood front line for anything in regards to Cam, and then he put Dipset in front of Cam.
Cam and Jim history go back before me. You understand what I'm saying? When I met Cam and Jim, they were super close. So I honestly don't really know Jim being from the Bronx and all that. You know what I'm saying? When I met them, they was in 5H, which is, you know what I'm saying, Jim's apartment, and that's, you know, like, I guess that time was after all the stuff Cam had said already with the Children of the Corn and Jim, you know, whatever he said, you know what I'm saying? So, like what I said, when I got there, Cam and Jim was like this, super tight. Mase wasn't even in the picture. I don't know Mase like that. You know what I'm saying? Every time I seen Mase, it's been a mutual, you know what I'm saying, respect there. So, you know, that's what that's been as far as me and Mase. You know what I'm saying? As far as, yeah, when I met Cam and Jim, they were already Trump tight and locked in. You understand what I'm saying? The Diplomats was already a name they had. You know what I'm saying? I don't sit there and claim I made the dip, so that's not something I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I made Dipset though, the two. Yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying?
Here, the atmosphere turned palpable. Online discussion suggests that the subtle humor at the start served as a pressure valve, easing viewers into what would become a high-stakes verbal showdown. Allegedly, Cam's opening line acted as a signal. They were aware of Jim's recent remarks, and the stage was set for a methodical dismantling. Fans speculated that the live setting amplified the tension, as neither Mase nor Cam needed to raise their voices. They relied on history, context, and timing to make their point. The energy shift wasn't just noticeable, it was electric. What began as casual banter quickly escalated into a calculated reminder of who shaped Harlem's music culture. The question now hung in the air. How far would they go before hitting the core of Jim's public image?
The wedge that became between Cam and Jim is Jim's success. Cam always looked at him as being the star, Jim being capo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's kind of like Sammy the Bull becoming John Gotti. You know what I'm saying? Gotti's probably gonna feel a little way if Sammy becomes the main man. You know what I'm saying? And in that situation, that's what it is. Jim started to grow as an artist. And as he started to grow as an artist, he started moving from standing behind Cam to he started standing next to Cam. And then it got to a point where he stood in front of Cam. Mm-hmm. And Cam was looking him over his shoulder like, yo, what you doing? And then that built the animosity. And by the time Ballin' hit, Cam had a gang of animosity and internal hatred. And I know because I seen it, I was there. I felt like he was a fucking hater because like I felt like he was supposed to be happy for Jim. He was under the wing. Jim was the muscle. You get what I'm saying? Jim he's Cam's partner. But he's taking a step back to play the muscle.
At this point, the confrontation reached a pivotal moment. Mase's words allegedly weren't just personal, they were historical assertions. Fans online reacted immediately, calling it a Harlem history lesson and praising the calm but cutting delivery. According to sources, Mase reminded Jim of the timeline, who was truly active when and who merely observed from the sidelines. It wasn't about insults. It was about positioning, legacy, and truth as perceived by Harlem insiders. The room's energy shifted from amusement to tension, as the audience understood this was more than nostalgia. It was a public assertion of who laid the groundwork for Harlem's rap scene. Comment sections lit up with fans asking, who truly deserves the credit? And the underlying question lingered. How could Jim respond without undermining his own narrative? The crowd's laughter slowly gave way to an electric tension, the kind that makes viewers lean closer to their screens. Mase didn't need to raise his voice. His calm, measured tone carried weight, each word deliberate, cutting through the air with precision. According to online reactions, this moment marked a turning point. What began as lighthearted banter quickly evolved into a meticulous deconstruction of Jim's public persona, a reminder that influence and legacy are not merely claimed. They are earned through time, presence, and consistent contribution. Fans speculated that the audience itself became part of the storytelling, witnessing a generational divide in real time. Two Harlem veterans asserting authority, while Jim Jones's attempts at establishing dominance were slowly unraveling under scrutiny. Visuals of old Children of the Corn freestyles flashed alongside current footage, grounding the argument in context. Mase's reference to touring with Biggie wasn't just nostalgia, it was a benchmark, a subtle reminder of the magnitude of experience Jim could not match at that stage. The audience laughed, but beneath the humor was an unmistakable undercurrent. This was history being corrected, not rewritten. Cameron's interjections added layers of both humor and legitimacy, his dry wit framing the confrontation as more than entertainment. Fans online speculated that his jokes about Jim reinventing himself as a rapper, podcaster, or influencer were actually a commentary on adaptability versus authenticity. One recurring theme across social media was that adaptability alone cannot replace foundational respect or historical presence. This subtle irony didn't go unnoticed. While Jim tried to appear unbothered, viewers saw the discrepancy between perceived image and actual standing within Harlem's musical hierarchy. The conversation deepened, moving from playful jabs to personal accountability. Mase reportedly reminded Jim of his original role as a fan who learned from the very people now standing above him. Fans speculated this line resonated because it reframed past relationships, highlighting mentorship and hierarchy rather than rivalry. Each statement carefully reinforced the same central idea: legacy is not optional, and history cannot be claimed retroactively. Visual cues supported this narrative, intercutting archival footage of early Harlem sessions with slow zooms on Mase and Cameron's confident expressions. Every gesture, every smirk, added cinematic weight to the spoken word. As the discussion progressed, the subtle power dynamics became clearer. Jim's attempts to assert relevance through Instagram posts, throwback photos, and subliminal captions were contrasted with Mase and Cam's unflinching delivery. Online reactions, according to sources, highlighted the irony. Jim's efforts to remind viewers of his past were seen less as validation and more as attempts to rewrite the narrative he had been excluded from. Memes began circulating almost immediately, portraying Jim as the sidelined figure in every frame. The commentary suggested that the public was not merely consuming the moment, they were actively participating in interpreting history. By now, the confrontation had evolved into a cultural lesson. Mase and Cam, through humor, timing, and undeniable knowledge, demonstrated that influence is as much about perception as it is about creation. Fans speculated that this was a modern Harlem story being told not through music, but through controlled, live narrative. The online discourse extended beyond hip-hop communities, reaching general audiences fascinated by authenticity, mentorship, and social hierarchy. Headlines labeled it a public roasting, but deeper analysis framed it as a strategic lesson in leadership and cultural memory. The irony in the unfolding drama was palpable. Jim, who once held a position of influence as part of the Dipset machinery, now faced scrutiny not for his artistry alone, but for his interpretation of legacy. Fans speculated that the criticism resonated precisely because it was delivered without malice. Facts, history, and sharp commentary served as the instruments of accountability. Meanwhile, Mase and Cam showcased a masterclass in poise. They didn't need to shout, they didn't need to threaten. They let knowledge, timing, and presence speak louder than any diss track ever could. As the discussion moved into the later stages, reflections on Harlem culture and its historical frameworks became central. The conversation reminded viewers that Harlem pride is not performative. It is earned through consistent contribution, community engagement, and authentic storytelling. Fans online repeatedly highlighted this as a teachable moment. Even those who attempt to climb to prominence must respect the groundwork laid before them. The juxtaposition between Mase and Cam's steady leadership and Jim's reactive measures became a study in influence, legacy, and the psychology of cultural authority. The fallout was immediate and far-reaching. Clips went viral, memes proliferated, and commentary threads exploded with analysis, debate, and humor. Influencers, comedians, and fellow rappers joined in, interpreting the events through various lenses, some focusing on humor, others on hierarchy and history. According to public sources, even celebrities outside Harlem were weighing in, noting how Mase and Cam demonstrated that respect is earned in layers, through mentorship, artistic contribution, and longevity. Jim's attempts to navigate the aftermath were reportedly cautious. Online reactions suggested he realized the weight of what had just been delivered live on air. As the narrative approached its climax, it became clear that Mase and Cam were not merely defending personal pride. They were reinforcing the blueprint of Harlem's musical and cultural lineage. Every joke, anecdote, and historical reference served as evidence, a subtle yet powerful reminder that time and experience cannot be faked. Fans speculated that the broader cultural message was about accountability. The past is always present, and trying to bypass or rewrite it invites scrutiny. Visuals intercut the live audience reactions with archival performances, emphasizing continuity and the passage of time. Closing in on the finale, the impact on public perception was undeniable. Social media analytics reportedly showed spikes in engagement, with clips shared across continents. Online commentary suggested that Mase and Cam didn't just drag Jim, they reset expectations of what it means to hold cultural authority. The performance wasn't about aggression, it was about precision, humor, and history, delivered in a way only seasoned veterans could manage. Viewers, both casual and invested, recognized that legacy, mentorship, and authenticity were the true victors in this moment. The thematic weight of the episode lingered. This wasn't a fleeting drama. It was a lesson in cultural literacy, leadership, and the power of presence. Mase and Cam demonstrated that respect isn't merely spoken. It's embodied, lived, and reinforced through actions over decades. Fans online reflected on the moment as a Harlem masterclass, appreciating that humor, history, and authority can coexist in storytelling, creating a narrative that resonates far beyond the initial audience. And so, Harlem's story continued to unfold on this stage. Mase and Cam held their ground, guiding viewers through lessons in mentorship, hierarchy, and authenticity, leaving Jim's position more complex than ever. The commentary online suggested that this was more than entertainment. It was a subtle cultural intervention, reminding the public that true influence cannot be assumed, only earned. History, once established, casts long shadows over attempts to rewrite it. And don't go anywhere. Click the next video you see on your screen for even more juicy celebrity chaos, betrayals, and stories Hollywood doesn't want you to know. See you in the next one.